A Child is Born, A Beginner's Guide to Nativity Stories by Amy Jill Levine. This is Chapter 2, The Conception and Birth of Samson, pages 51 through 57. The Second Appearance. Judges 13:9 reports, God listened to Manoah, and the angel of God came again to the woman as she sat in the field. But her husband Manoah was not with her. God listened to Manoah. He is part of the picture after all, although he may not realize it. Nor does he know initially that his prayer has been answered. The angel again appears only to Mrs. Manoah, who is sitting in the field. In general, wives in the early Iron Age, the setting of Judges, would be involved in gardening, tending to domestic animals, baking, cooking, and preserving food, weaving cloth and making cloths, cleaning, and so on. Sitting in the field does not suggest plowing or planting or reaping. I picture her weaving a grass basket, or feeling exhausted, or even daydreaming about that fellow she just met. Conversely, Manoah, the man, should be in the field. Perhaps, as his name suggests, he is resting, or perhaps there are times when prayer is more important than daily work. Seeing the angel, the woman ran quickly and told her husband, "The man who came to me the other day has appeared to me." Judges chapter 13, verse 10. All that running reminds me of Abraham and Sarah running to provide hospitality. If the scene were filmed as a movie, it should be done as a comedy. As far as the woman's words, the expression for appeared is came to, the same potential euphemism encountered at the angel's first appearance. Manoah, perhaps missing the pun, got up and followed his wife. Judges chapter 13, verse 11a. Commentators frequently note that the wife should follow the husband, and so see the couple as confounding gender roles. On the other hand, Manoah cannot go ahead of his wife because he did not know where she met the angel. Sometimes following is practical. Again, I think of Jesus. While to follow in Greek can function as a technical term for discipleship, it can also describe Jesus, who got up and followed the desperate father seeking a healing for his daughter, Matthew 9:19. Both leading and following can be discipleship moments. In the field, Manoah came to the man and said to him, "Are you the man who spoke to this woman?" And he said, "I am." Judges 13, verse 11b. The Hebrew behind "I am" is not the same as God's famous "I am" Greek, or "I will be what I will be" Hebrew to Moses at the bush in Exodus chapter 13, verse 14. The Hebrew here just means "I," or "it is I." Manoah does not appear impressed with a man whose appearance, as his wife described, was like that of an angel of God, most awe-inspiring. Manoah then asks, "Now when your words come true," the Hebrew can also be read as a prayer, "May your words now come true." What is to be the boy's rule of life? What is he to do? Judges 13, verse 12. Manoah asks no question about the pregnancy, as if that is already a done deal. His focus is on the child's future. The Hebrew does not speak of a rule of life. It rather asks about the judgment of the lad. The issue is not how the boy is to behave in terms of diet and drink, but how he is to be assessed, or even what the divine judgment about him is to be. The angel ducks both questions. In the Bible, and especially with Jesus, people answer the question they want to answer. Turning attention from the child back to the woman, the angel explains that she should give heed to all that I said to her. Judges 13:13. Then he repeats the prenatal instructions. The wife is silent, and the husband is again omitted from the instructions. I am getting the impression that the wife is the major partner in this relationship, as Rebekah was to Isaac. More, for the Gospels, Joseph appears last when he seeks the 12-year-old Jesus in the temple. Luke chapter 2, verse 41 through 52. Mary likely had the major parental responsibilities for the teenage Jesus. Following all this talk about what not to eat, Manoah invites the angel to dinner. "Allow us to detain you and prepare a kid for you." Judges 13, verse 15. Echoes of Abraham back in Genesis 18, with all that talk about an infertile wife conceiving and giving birth to a son. At least Manoah doesn't ask his wife to do the cooking, because traditionally angels do not eat. The offer may be a test to see if the fellow is really an angel. Conversely, Moa may be clueless. Our text here has another echo. This one from earlier in the book of Judges. The judge Gideon, not the swiftest judge on the block, meets an angel of the Lord. It can happen. The angel commissions Gideon to free Israel from the hand of the Midianites, but Gideon demurs. His tribe of Manasseh is the weakest of the tribes, and Gideon himself is the weakest of the weak. The angel reassures Gideon, who responds with a request for a sign. How much does he need? And an offer of lunch. He asks the angel to wait, much as the angel waits for Mrs. Manoah to bring her husband to the field, while he goes into his house and prepares both a kid, anticipating Manoah, and unleavened cakes, recollecting Sarah. The angel advises Gideon to put meat and cake on a rock and then pour the broth in which the meat had cooked onto a rock. Gideon, who now asks no question, obeys. The angel touches the tip of his staff to the food, and fire bursts out. Then the angel of the Lord vanishes. Now, Gideon understands the man was an angel. No one eats lunch. Following Gideon, we readers can anticipate another sacrifice, and so another type scene. The angel hints, if you detain me, I will not eat your food, but if you want to prepare a burnt offering, then offer it to the Lord. Judges 13, verse 16a. We readers know what is going on. So does Mrs. Manoah, but Manoah did not know that he was the angel of the Lord. Judges 13, verse 16b. I can imagine this story being presented orally, with the audience calling out, Manoah, he's an angel, or even, Manoah, you dunce, he's an angel. The audience will do the same thing with Samson, when Delilah asks him several times about the source of his strength. Don't tell, don't tell. Manoah tries again, as if hoping to keep the angel's company. He asks, what is your name? So that we may honor you when your words come true. Verse 17. Knowing someone's name conveys power. This is why Jesus asks the name of the demon who possessed the man in Gerasa. This is where the demon responds, my name is Legion. Mark chapter 5, verse 9. To this point in the Bible, we have no named angels. Michael and Gabriel appear in the relatively late book of Daniel. The book of Tobit in the Deuterocanonical literature features Raphael. In the earlier parts of the Bible, angels are interchangeable. They are unnamed, but they speak to Hagar and Abraham, Rebekah and Jacob, Moses and Gideon and Manoah, and they speak for God. Nor does an angel need to be honored, for the honor should be to God. The angel again refuses to answer the question. Instead, he poses his own. Why do you ask my name? It is too wonderful. Judges 13, verse 18. That's it. There will be no control over him by Manoah or the wife. He remains mysterious and gorgeous. More, the angel's namelessness reminds us of Mrs. Manoah, the wife and mother, whose name is also withheld. Even more, the notion of this wonderful name sends us back to Genesis chapter 18, verse 14, where Abraham's visitors asks, is anything too wonderful for the Lord? At the set time I will return to you in due season, and Sarah shall have a son. There being nothing left to say, Manoah makes the offering to the Lord, who works wonders. Judges chapter 13, verse 19. The description is a play on the too wonderful name of the angel. The angel ascends to heaven in the sacrificial flame. Judges 13, verse 20. At this point, Manoah finally perceives, more or less, watching the angel ascend and not being burnt to a crisp, husband and wife fall on their faces, Manoah in fear and reverence. I wonder if the wife is laughing. The author notes, the angel of the Lord did not appear again to Manoah and his wife. Judges chapter 13, verse 21a. We have no indication that either Manoah or Mrs. Manoah prayed for another appearance. Then, Manoah realized that it was the angel of the Lord. Judges 13, verse 21b. Then, Manoah is not the swiftest day and night in the neighborhood. Again, Manoah proves himself obtuse. He tells his wife, we shall surely die, for we have seen God. He sounds like Gideon back in Judges 6, verse 22, who after watching the angel ascend cries, help me, Lord God, for I have seen the angel of the Lord face to face. Somehow, biblical characters do not get the message that if an angel commissions them, they are not going to die, at least immediately. Angels do not waste their time. It doesn't take a PhD in theology to make this conclusion. The wife, quicker on the uptake, explains, I cannot determine if her tone is patient or impatient. If the Lord had meant to kill us, he would not have accepted a burnt offering and a grain offering at our hands, or shown us all these things, or announced to us such things as these. Judges 13, verse 23. The angel has departed. It is now up to the husband and wife to ponder what they have heard, and to obey the instructions they have received. The birth. The chapter ends with the announcement that the woman bore a son and named him Samson. The boy grew, and the Lord blessed him. After some time, the Spirit of the Lord began to stir him in Mahaneh Dan, between Zorah and Eshtaol. Judges 13, verse 24 through 25. While Mr. and Mrs. Manoah will appear later in the story, we leave them here to comment on the naming of the child. The Bible notes that the name Ishmael, God hears, relates to God hearing Hagar in the wilderness. Isaac was named Laughter because Sarah and Abraham laughed at the notion that at their age they would have a child. Moses received his name when Pharaoh's daughter drew him out of the water, but there was no explanation given for the name Samson. The Hebrew Shimson, whence the English Samson, is a cognate of the word Samesh, meaning sun. This sun will be eclipsed by Delilah, whose name is a cognate for the Hebrew word for night. Samson is strong and impressively large, but he is more dim-bulbed than light of the world. The name also adds to the sense that the biblical authors present him as a folkloric figure, both superhuman and flawed, enduring and violent, heroic and, at the end, tragic. We leave Manoah and his wife with laughter before the tragedy, working together with memories of angels and hopes of redemption. And we see parents who do the best for their child, even while Samson, perhaps channeling angelic genetics, will forge his own path.